know. Confusing, but it'll survive, I'm sure. What you have is you're gonna see a little split button. You see that? And you just click on it and then go to the bottom and say split or done, and it should like automatically select your shenanigans. Yep, slice, that's it, slice. So you go ahead and click slice, and then you click apply. And now you have 3 different Marios. Isn't that cool? I need to share this link because I just realized I started streaming, but I didn't actually share with people that I'm streaming. So that's a good way to do it. Oh goodness. Let me open that up. Where's my URL for this? YouTube. I am streaming. Please give me my link for my stream.
So do you ever have to worry about the alignment of sprites when it like automatically slices them?
Sometimes if your sprite's really complex, so let's say it changes shape, so like instead of having 3 different Marios that basically all look the same, you go from a Mario to like a bouncing ball. And they're really close to each other, Unity might get confused and put them on the same sprite. And you can just manually just edit where they're sliced.
Okay.
If you go back to it, which mine isn't working for some reason, but that's fine, it should automatically just have like a little bounding box. And that bounding box will just show up for what you're doing. And I absolutely love how my channel doesn't have a stream. There we are. Hey, I got it. Just post that. Sweet. Okay, anyways, back to Unity shenanigans. What's up?
My bad.
Oh, it's grayed out? Oh, that's weird. So basically, oh, did you not select multiple? Oh, you still have it on single. So you want multiple, and then sprite that. So apply your changes, and then you slice. Then you do it, I see there's little bounding boxes around them. That should, it'll just say do that, and you apply and cover it. And when you go back to Unity, you can scroll that out now. You should, when you click that little arrow, you see 3 different Marios. Cool. All right. So yeah, you can spam back and forth with your little observer. I lost my mouse for a second. I'm sorry. And he'll do his little jumps and little moves. But basically now you have 3 different sprites that you can't actually use for anything except for individual pictures. Unity's cool again is that you can, if you hold shift and select 2 of them, which I'm going to use the first 2, which is the running and yeah, the ones that you have selected, and you just drag those right into the scene. It'll go, hey, you're making a new animation. So the second you let go, you hit to find where you want to store the animation, which I'm going to put in the animations folder, and we'll call it run cycle again, but a different capitalization just so we can do it again. And what's going to happen when you save that, you can put it wherever you want to, it should be fine. As long as it's in the project. Yeah. If it's on assets, it's going to get confused. But it can be in a subfolder in assets, that's fine. Like, see, I have my assets folder all organized with my animations, my backgrounds, all that sort of stuff. So you can have an animations folder, and you'll have a run cycle animation. So if you click on this, it's going to be a little confused, because it has no idea. You made an animation, but it doesn't know what it's referencing to. So there was over here, if you click on the animator, oh right, it's window, and I believe that's it. It's window and animator, or animation, one of those buttons. They have the same names, and it is small. Where is it? Oh, animation. I'm blind. There we are. And it drug up on my other screen. Let me pull that up real quick. Drag that over here. You're gonna see these 2 little things. This is gonna be your first keyframe. This is gonna be your second keyframe. Keyframes in Unity are essentially like images that you've selected and how they should be like positioned. So you have image 1 and image 2 back to back. And so if you spread them out, it'll be slow. Or if you put them together, they're going to be super fast. So if we just exit out or just minimize this real quick and open Unity, you should be able to, if I can make this animation move. If you open this and you start playing, this Mario, the new one, is going to be moving super, super fast. And that looks cool and all until you want to start playing and he doesn't actually move that fast. Looks kind of derpy. So animation is how we fix that. If I can pull that back up without it being weird, and of course it was weird because that's Unity. Pull this up and you can just hold control and then scroll out. And it should zoom out enough for you to see multiple grid lines. And animations in Unity, you can set their samples. So you can have 12 frames a second, 60 frames a second, whatever you want. And that option is the samples option right up here. So if you wanted this to be, animation to be 60 frames a second, you can do that. It'd be super smooth if you had a lot of images, but we only have 2, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna put it back to 12. If you drag this one over to 1, or yeah, 1 right over here, and you click on this one, and you Control C, and you just drag your way. If I can drag my way over there. That's not how you drag. That's how you drag. Over to 2, click up on this timeline. This is how you navigate where your selected is. So if you drag up here on this time scale, you can actually see it move in the background. Little Mario, oh, he changes his little feet. And this, what seems like it's great until you play it, and he just kind of glitches. His feet kind of pop back in place. So what you want to do is you want to change this keyframe to a copy of it over here, and you can just Control C, Control V. And you can even, I think you can even select the sprite if you're zoomed out enough, and you can just drag it wherever you want to. And so now when you do this, it should, in theory, bob. And he's just a little happy Mario. Just moving along in place. It's pretty cool. You can even do a lot more complex animations with Unity. If you have, you know how there was a little jump animation in there too? You can add that in there and it never be used until you press a certain button, which we'll do later because that's a little bit more complex. It involves scripts, so we're going to do that later. And you can just drag and drop wherever you want these keyframes to be, however fast you think he should move. Because maybe his legs shouldn't be as extending as long, so you can change the spacing how you wish. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so now that we have an animation, I'm guessing we probably want to make a move, right? So we're gonna make a new script, which you can go to your scripts folder or wherever you want to store it, and right-click, and you're gonna get a whole bunch of options. And the top one is Create. You're gonna select a C# script. I'll let you guys set up your folders and stuff like that in the meantime. A C# script is pretty much the best way to do things. You can use JavaScript, but I don't like using JavaScript because Unity handles errors very weirdly with JavaScript, just like it does in a web browser. So it's worse. Just don't do it. Just don't. So yeah, if you just name it whatever you want, I'm gonna just call it move, like my other one, my move reference. And you're gonna see, I wouldn't open it. If you double click on it, it's gonna open MonoDevelop. And it's gonna get weird because MonoDevelop is terrible and it's slow and it crashes a lot. So I would go right click somewhere in this little section and show an Explorer. And of course it's gonna show up on my other monitor. Bring it over here and I would select my scripts folder and just right click and open with just your text editor of choice, which for me is Sublime or Atom or whatever you want to use. And now you'll be greeted with a nice pre-set up version of a script that looks all fancy. Now when we get to scripts with Unity, scripts are interesting. You can have scripts that are basically like any other programming thing that you've ever done before, where you can go from start to finish and just do your work, or you can implement mono behavior, which is done by default for you. this opens up a lot of options for you. There's a lot of methods and a lot of things that you can use, and it's called like a game object. And so it's treated like a special thing in the game. So other than that, it's treated exactly the same, but most of your logic will be done in update. There is no main function or anything like that. That would be start, the logical equivalent. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a move, which is probably the funnest thing to do because it's super simple. You're basically, the concept that you're going to want to learn is, I have actually a reference up here so I can not be dumb while I type this because I would totally forget. Where is that? Well, okay, that's cool. Just doesn't want to expand for me. Yay. Okay, so we have a, you probably want them to move, which we can do right now. And just go into update and start typing, which you'll make a float and just call it just direction or whatever you want to call it. Horizontal, if I can spell today, horizontal direction. And set that equal to a input.getAxis. And I can explain what that is the second I start doing this. The second I finish. Let's see. And make sure you semicolon that out, otherwise it will error. Okay, this is input.getAxis. Input is Unity's basically giant class that has all of your button pushes, essentially. And getAxis is Unity's way of saying, hey, I have something where I can go up, down, left, right, one of those directions. And horizontal is a default one, which uses A, D, or left and right for your buttons. So you don't have to say, hey, get this key if it's left, then go left, or get this key if it's right, go right. It just does it for you, which is really nice. What you want to do is make a new vector3, which, if you don't know what vectors are are a, basically think of it as an arrow with direction and magnitude. Vectors are basically something with a direction and magnitude in 3 space. That's why it's called vector3. There are vector 2s. Don't use those. They will break. Unity changes them all the time. Nice to see you, by the way. If you're attending, go ahead and just in the Slack say I'm here. That's how I do attendance for now until we get PantherBot doing that for us. It's going to be great. Vector 3s are 3 space, so it'll have an XYZ coordinate. This is pseudocode. You don't have to worry about it, but it'll look like this. And that is how Unity handles things. And basically what you want to name it is whatever you want to. Translation is the one I used, but you can say like position or like POS, like it doesn't matter. And you want to set that equal to a new vector3, so you're instantiating a vector3 object like you do in Java. And I would give it the horizontal direction as your X, and make the other ones 0. So your Y and Z changes will be 0. We won't worry about speed right now. That'll be something I do next. But what we'll do to make a move finally, after all that work, the 3 lines of code, is do transform.translate. I know that's a little hard to see on the screen. There we go. Transform.translate, and you want to do pause. What that means is Unity has something called transform for every object. That is not only its position, but its rotation, its acceleration in 3 space. It has all sorts of information you can get out of it. And one of the methods it has inside is called translate. And that will take any vector3 that you give it and move it in that direction, and just however you wish. So if we do that and we just Control S to make sure you save it, and go back to Unity, you press play, and nothing's going to happen, or not. The things that you want is not going to happen. My test one works, but you can see little dancing Mario that's floating in the sky doesn't actually move, unfortunately. What you want to do is you want to click on your Mario, and in the inspector on the right, select Add Component. I keep getting scared the shit out of. Anyways, you want to do Add Components. Components are Unity's way of giving logic to anything that's in the game world. Components can be audio, visual, connect to things. Literally all logic in Unity that's not in the script is handled by components. So what you want to do is you want to go to Add Component, and you want to go to Scripts, and you'll just select the one that you just made, which you probably called Move. And now when you press play, it should work. And he moves really, really fast, like abnormally fast, and he floats in the sky. Right? It's quite cute. It's quite cute, but it's not quite what we want because no platformer just has a left, right, and he doesn't jump. So what we want to do is we want to add another component to Mario, and it'll be in Physics 2D because we're all in 2D projects, I hope. And the first one will be a rigid body 2D. A rigid body 2D, in essence, is giving something weight and mass, and so it will fall with gravity. It will float in the sky if it gets hit with something that's really hard, or anything like that. So it's kind of cool. But the problem with rigid bodies is if you, I think this works. If you just press play, it'll just keep falling and it won't actually hit anything. It'll be treated like it has weight, but it doesn't actually touch anything in the world. How you fix that is you add another component, and I know it's a lot of components, but you get used to it, and you add probably a box collider, and it'll give them a little box around them. If you zoom in, you can actually see it, that little green box around him, that is his box collider, so if it even touches up here, even though it's not his sprite, it will like collide. But now if we press play, because none of you have something on the ground, he'll probably just keep falling, but now he's gonna hit the ground. If you want to give ground to poor little Mario, I would go to some other folder that you have, probably sources, right click, and create a sprite, and make a square. And I would just call this ground, but I'm gonna call it ground 2 because I've already made ground. How we'll fix that, I'm just gonna delete my ground on here, drag it into the scene, and you can scale it however you wish. There's a transform position, which is, again, the position, the rotation, the scale, the direction that it's going, all that sort of stuff in the top right. And you can make it as wide as you wish, and that'd be great. If you click play, poor Mario is still gonna fall through because that doesn't also have something to collide with. So you need to add a component, and you need to add a box collider again. That sounds silly, why not add a rigid body? But we don't want this to fall into deep space, so we don't want it to go with gravity. So a box collider is enough. If you press play, little Mario will fall and touch the ground, and he'll still be super fast, but it'll work. So there you go. Now we have a ground and a moving Mario, and it's quite cute.
How'd you add the component?
How'd you add the component? I would click on it in the game world, so in that little, and then you go to add component, Physics 2D, and then box collider. No rigid body, because if you add a rigid body, it's going to fall too. And so Mario will fall with the box, which would be hilarious, but not what we want. Alright, so now you probably want to make your Mario move a little slower. And how you can do that is go back to your script. Which one's the right one? This one. And I'll pull up my reference script so I'm not completely blind in the water. What we want to do is we want to make a float again, but we'll make this one a public float that we can access from anywhere. And I'll tell you why in a second. And we're going to make this 10F, or 10.0F, I'm sorry. This is a float. If you don't know how floats work, they're basically imprecise decimals that you can do math with really fast. We're going to do it 10. What we're going to do before we're going to add a new line, and we're going to go, hey, I want my position to times equals, which is just making this position to position times something, and I want to go my speed, and semicolon that off. And then I'll make its positions basically times 10. If you go back to Unity and press play, something really funny happens. Your Mario is so fast, it just kind of disappears the second you press a button. I'm using Sublime. I just installed it, but there's Atom, there's Notepad++ if you are okay with that.
I just minus.
There's also Visual Studio.
There's Android Studio. Let's just go with the text editor. Just avoid using regular Notepad because it doesn't highlight text for you. It doesn't make anything look pretty, and tabs and spaces get really easily confused. So yeah, just some other text editor that you want. Don't use mono-develop. If you double-click the script in Unity like this, if you just go ahead and, I'm not actually going to double-click it, but if you just like click it a lot, it'll open mono-develop, which will, one, lag the crap out of your system. It's most likely to crash, and it won't save your work when you want it to. So it's built in with Unity. It's a piece of garbage. Just avoid it. So yeah. Oh, hurtful. Anyways, let's go back to our script. The problem is we have a Mario that moves really fast, and if you noticed, when I press play, he touched the ground, and then he kind of like, oh, at some point, he did this with me earlier, and he flew through the sky. Wow, now it's not working when I want it to work. Okay, but basically he was flying at angles, which was not fun. So if you want to fix that, you can click on your Mario, and you can go down to your rigid body, and it has all these sort of settings. I would just leave them as they are, except for one. I would freeze its rotation on Z. And what that means is your rigid body will be like, it'll just always be that square, it will never move, and it won't like go back and forth. So when you press jump, you don't have to worry about it tilting forward or backwards or anything like that. So now when we do it, he'll still be really fast, but we never have to worry about him tilting over.
Sorry, where was that?
Oh, if you just click on your Mario and you go to rigid body, there is a constraints option. That's it.
I missed a step when I box away. It's still falling through the ground.
Is he still falling through the ground? Does Mario have a box collider too?
No.
Then you probably want to add a box collider too. So everything that you have probably wants a box collider if you want it to actually do things for you that are nice. But yeah, I would go back to Mario, I would click constraints and freeze rotation. And so now if you move him, he won't fly through the sky at different angles, which was really funny, but not what we want. Now we probably want to make him actually move at a decent speed. You can change your float. I found the best one to be 0.1, which is 0.1. If you edit in the script, you'll notice, I'm not going to fix it yet. I kind of want to show it first. If you go to Unity, it doesn't change it in, where is that script? That lovely script over. See, if you go to speed and you hover over the script, it still says 10. That's a problem, because if we press play, even though your script says 0.1, it's really, really, really fast. So Unity has this weird thing that it likes to do and says the editor takes precedence over whatever's in the script. So once you make it, you got to edit it through here as well. So you're going to go 0.1 in here, and no matter, regardless of what it says in your editor, on your text editor, it will take precedence like this. So now they move at the same speed. One's a little derpier than the other. But there you go. Now you have a moving Mario. Isn't that cute? Now, one nice thing is there was, I think that was most of what I wanted to show you guys for the default logic and how scripts work. Oh, one other thing, delta time. Okay, this is where Unity gets also weird. You know how I said, what's it called? That update is called every frame. Well, if your game is lagging and you're doing update, it might be fine, but let's say your game is only going 10 frames a second. Well, the problem is Mario would then move archaically slow like this, right? And that doesn't work if this is a time-based game like a platformer, if your game is lagging, right? You want things to work smoothly. So if you go to your script again, there's a nice little thing in Unity called time.delta time. So what we probably want to do is right here, just go time.delta time. And delta time is essentially the way that Unity measures times between each update call. So between each frame, there's a certain amount of time, whether that's 1 second or 1,000 seconds or 0.01 second. It will be relative to the speed. What's up?
Spell it right.
Did I spell it right? Detla. Detla is definitely not what I'm looking for. It is delta time. And if we go back to here, it's probably going to move slower, but you can just adjust your speed as necessary. Yeah, see, he's moving really, really slow, but it is continuous, and if your game is lagging, he'll still move. Whoa, wow, he's getting pushed by the other Mario. That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, so you probably want to adjust your speed again, which you can just do, and just put that back up to 10. And if you play again, he should move at roughly roughly a similar speed, a little faster. He's gonna push Mario off the edge.
There can only be one.
There can only be one Mario, see? Oh no. Wow. Go away, Mario. Did this work? Oh my goodness, it did. Alright, anyways, Delta Time is the best way to do anything that's based on movement. So always remember to use this, unless it's like a hard movement. If you want it to move over exactly 1 unit in space, then Delta Time's not your friend, because that's going to be a varying number. But if you want it to move based on like frame speed, this is the best way to do it. Because if you can do your position based on just like literally anything, you can do like 1,000 and he'll just jump the second you press like left or right 1,000 spaces. But yeah, so Delta Time, translate, let's see, we got all our animations, and that's actually it. Are you taking pictures of me? What? Brimy? Oh, nice. You know this is going on YouTube, right? It's actually streaming right now. Jim is watching you.
Hi, Jim.
I have no idea if I can see what he's saying. Let's see.
Hey.
Jim, speak.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for becoming our co-advisor.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yay. Anyways, okay. That's basically what I wanted to show you guys today. Is just basically how to use scripts, how components work in a really rough outline, and make something move that's kind of adorable. Because I loved old school Mario. And now you can actually, here, I can actually show you guys one more thing. If you go to your assets folder and you right click and you create something called a prefab. And what that is it is a instance of an object that you can clone as many times as you want. So you can have 1,000 Marios. So let's just call this Mario default, right? And we go on our left and we click and drag our Mario onto the prefab. It'll make a copy of it, and you can copy as many of these little guys into the game space as you want. We can have 10,000 Marios if we so desired. And the second you press play, they're all going to fall, they're all going to be derpy, and they're all going to move. So it's pretty cool. Prefabs are a really nice way of, instead of like, let's go like right here, and let's say if this Mario has certain default values, I can Control C and Control V kind of. It usually copies most everything, but it's not one-to-one, not always perfect. But prefabs copy literally everything you see on this right side exactly to the number. So it's a nice way of just having multiple instances without making a clutter of your game space. Wow, this blue shift is atrocious. Ugh.
Cool.
It looks kind of cool. It's gross. So gross.
Is it the cable or something?
I think it is. I think it's the screen, because it's not showing up on here on YouTube.
But it's showing up on here.
Yeah, it's showing up on here too. I honestly don't know.
Make a video game around blue shifts.
I think there is, actually. I think it's on Steam. Most everything is on Steam, but yeah. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys for today. I wanted to ask you a few things. Like, I know last meeting, I don't remember all who was here. I'm sorry, I really don't remember things. But I'm sorry. I want to ask you guys what you guys want to make. I would prefer to stick to 2D, because 3D is like, it's lovely and all, but ray tracing is a pain in the butt, and not something I have fun with. So if you guys want to make like a platformer, or like a rhythm game, or anything really, I just kind of want to get some ideas so I can make some new lessons. What's up, Jennifer?
Can we make Osu, but better?
You know, technically we can make Osu.
That would be your best game dev member.
Really hard.
Like, legit.
Why not just
But I kind of like it.
you like merge that and then make it like a rhythm-based platform?
Is it what?
Where the fighting component is the OS game. Okay, but that's too hard for me to play. It's okay, Jen.
The Honestly Test is kind of like that, but it's not really like
Why are you here?
I don't know about that. I'm thinking something
What's wrong with her being here?
that we can just build up from. So like,
I like
we
it
can
being
build a platform and then we can just make it better. Make
She's only slightly distracting,
special trip or
especially when we're
whatever.
together.
No, she's
Love you,
very.
Jen.
Just makes dumb jokes.
You die?
Yeah.
Today, well, no, today I made a bad joke. I'll send it. We're not going to talk about how all of that just is going on to the live stream.
Oh, it is.
Where is it? Hope y'all are having a good day.
I don't know, I guess you covered it more.
Yeah, no,
Is it not Facebook live stream?
Oh,
it's YouTube, I think.
That's fine. Alright, sure. Then we will stick with 2D.
And we'll do a platformer. I don't know what you guys are doing. Oh, hi! Hi, Jim!
Hi, Jim!
What's up? The latency, I picked low latency, so it shouldn't be that bad. So it should be okay. I think this is coming, the mic is using, it should be okay. So tell me if you can hear it when I say red pepper. Type in red pepper in the chat, Jim. Red pepper. I want to see it. You're disappointing me, Jim. I'm upset.
The latency is really bad because he said all of that was recorded.
YouTube, this is upsetting. What?
Do you really want to test it? I can get on and test it.
I mean, it doesn't matter that much. I mean, this is being recorded as well, so you can come back and see it. But now we have this forever recorded. Wow, that red pepper was so delayed. Oh my goodness. Okay, so sure, we'll stick with like a little Mario platformer. We'll probably make our own sprites to avoid copyright issues. Yeah, it'd be kind of cute. Next time, we'll make our Mario sprite. When we actually move left and right, it actually turn instead of looking adorable, like doing the moonwalk.
And then
but that's not really quite nice in the game. And we'll make the camera follow him, which is really, really easy, actually. So right now, yeah, the camera's just all in one place, and the Marios move. But that's what we're battling against right now. And these are having a little tug of war. But one's faster than the other.
I think it's a tug of war.
What is it, Jennifer?
I don't want to say it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. That sad face. All right, yeah, sure. That was about 45 minutes. That was
Beautiful.
pretty good.
As my coworker Yaro says, he was really scary.
Oh,
Well, he was at first, and then he says beautiful whenever you finish your code, and I think that's lovely.
I say something like that. I'm either like beautiful or like that's awesome.
Once he gave me a gorgeous.
Ooh,
Yeah. I was
gorgeous
really
code.
happy.
Hey Jennifer, what do you think about this code? Right. Oh no, where is it? Wow, thanks game. This one.
Well, it's hideous because wait, hold on.
It's got comments. It's got comments though.
Wait.
It has some. Can I move up? If yes.
It's hideous because the brackets are in the wrong place.
Oh, you're this
They
guy?
are in the wrong place.
You're like that?
I'm
Ew.
okay.
Do you have your brackets like this?
I read it.
Yeah, this is how you do brackets.
You know why?
What the hell?
No.
This is how you do brackets, Jennifer. I'm sorry.
Once Mackenzie at Code Day, the first day at Code Day with Mackenzie, she lost her brackets. Why? Because she didn't do it like that.
Wait, do you also do that for your functions?
I do that for everything.
Why? You can't.
You just lost.
Look at that.
What's a?
Look at that.
You can't
Why,
have
Paul?
functions, so why
Are
would
you
do
about
it?
to say that you're one of those two?
Okay, I do it like this, but I agree with the way you do it because, like, it I don't know, it just makes more sense. Yeah, it does.
Why would you put the ending on there?
Opposed to adding extra lines.
Okay. Why would
Thank you.
Put the end one
I
there?
agree.
Why would you?
Well, because like the in one, like you gotta know where it is.
That's what comments are for.
You already know.
It's easier to read. Who cares about space?
Oh, okay, yeah, I agree. There could be some spacing, like here. Like I could like.
Like what even?
This is so gross.
that's
This is.
ugly.
Let me give you some context. This is from Global Game Jam, and this was 48 hours of me
okay.
slamming my head against the wall to make this work. So
Like
yeah.
the group of four that was
Dude, I
supposed to
know
be
some
working on it,
people
one
who
person.
like just
Yeah.
don't
Just
space
me.
out things entirely. Like the equals. The
But you were with
Boy.
Plague. Seven Plague.
No, yeah. So it was like 4 people on our team, but I was the only one writing actual code for it. So
Oh, yeah,
I was a sad boy.
there.
Yeah.
Your water emblem. Is that what it
Yeah. This is water
It
emblem.
had a cool sprite though.
is? It was adorable.
Oh, you guys want to see the almonds? Oh, this is beautiful. Let's open this project.
Guys, Brax chew so hard right now.
Brax Jew.
We tried.
Global Game Jams.
Well, it's officialized. It's on my Snapchat, therefore it's officialized. Mackenzie will start using Brax chew like Brimey.
Amazing. All right, Unity's opening up. It's slow, but we're basically done. So if you don't want to stay here and look at this atrocity, that's fine. But I thought it's pretty cool. It has music.
Wait, is this like your?
This is the Global Game Jam project.
Okay, yeah.
It has music?
Yeah.
You didn't fit.
I probably won't play very well actually. Now that I think about it, because this is over the. I like how it just froze.
Phrases every now and then.
Yeah, my life does too. Let's see. Does it play music? It doesn't play music. Oh wait, it does. Oh, that blue shift makes everything look so gross. But look at the little dancing almonds, guys. And if you select it, you can move it. And you go into another ship and be like, hey, I want to mess you up. Oh, wait, that didn't work. There we go. See, now you have like 5,000. 5 health and 5 health. It's pretty great. And then if we get another ship, you can't move into rocks. This was such a pain. Can't go into rocks. It's literally just these track vectors that are allowed. So you can break this ship and then break it. And now this has 10 health, so we're going to get the fire back. Okay. It's actually quite garbage. Almost all of the game logic is literally in the script.
Those are bows. They're not almonds.
They're almonds. They're almonds.
So basically, when I was drawing it, I drew only the brown part first, and so they all said it was an almond before I added the mask.
Yeah, it was literally just like a little brown nut. It was hilarious.
You're a global game jam.
I was. I did all.
She did all the art, essentially. Oh no, Haroon did the water.
Haroon did the water, but all the rocks and boats and the crest was me.
See,
What do you do your sprite art in?
I went online and found Pixel Art Maker, and I did that.
see, the rocks look weird because the blue shift, but the more you zoom in, so you can actually like see it exists without the atrocious blue shift. And green shift apparently, because that ain't there either. Oh my goodness.
So basically,
This
they were
is
high res and they looked weird, so I had to like tone it down and make it look super low res and shitty.
What is this blue? Like, what is?
Do you still have the Cthulhu?
So gross.
Do you still have the Cthulhu arm?
No.
The Cthulhu arm, I do. Where is that?
Objects?
Yes. No.
Ooh.
Question mark?
Animations, boats, music, assets?
Assets?
No.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There he is.
There's a little. If we. Oh, inspector. I need the inspector out.
Wait, what is that?
It's a Cthulhu arm.
And then we.
He didn't make it into the actual game, but he was created.
Oh. You know, did I show you that website I made?
This is dev content
I
for
made
future
the pointer
games, guys.
carrot. On my website, yeah. No, it's not lame at all.
Right? It's pretty cute. What's
yeah. No, well, no. Yeah, but yeah.
I was
but
talking
no.
about his website. That's
Oh, I was talking across the room. I'm sorry. But yeah, so yeah, that was made in 48 hours. It is a mess. I will never go back to this because it is so bad.
Good concept?
It is good concept.
Yeah.
That you
But
stole.
that I mean it's not mine. But then again, is Fire Emblem really the first like strategy game?
Yes.
Nah. No.
Yes.
No. I'm pretty sure like Battleship is more of a strategy game that came first than like Fire Emblem. What? Can we play Battleship?
No, I'm just noting that I should bring Battleship to the back.
Yeah, we should bring Giant Jenga and Battleship. We should make Amy's version of Battleship.
Trust Damien.
All right, I think we're done. So I'm just gonna close up my stuff. All right, see you, Jim. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye. I actually don't. Oh, OBS. There we go. Stop streaming.